Hi everyone, I'm Matilda. I'm so happy to be here. CF Trust have allowed me to do a video for you, and I wanted to talk about everything like shielding coronavirus this past year and how it's okay to feel like you haven't done anything because you've done so much more than you thought you have. Like, you've got through a pandemic, almost. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. And I wanted to share some things that I do and how my experience this past year has been affected and what it's been like for me and my partner. I'm from Shrewsbury in Shropshire, which is quite out of the way in terms of coronavirus. I've been really lucky to be here in the sense that I would be so overwhelmed in a city. I at least have the countryside to go out on walks, but I'm not too isolated that I don't see anybody walking past, which is nice. Kind of at that lull where it just feels a bit low, miserable, and like there's nothing to really do. All of you know, anyone with CF was pretty much advised to shield and have hidden away for almost a year now, and that isn't easy. But in some way, like, I feel personally, I was more prepared for that. I was prepared to hide myself away from the world. I've been doing that for years, as have loads of you. Coronavirus has shown a lot of people how we live on a daily basis for so many years. And I think that's the interesting thing that you've got to take from this, that people are hopefully understanding how we have to think about life and how we think about going places, constantly afraid of germs, constantly looking out for things, wearing masks, sanitizing your hands, staying away from people, especially with us with CF, we can't even get close to each other. And that's what the rest of the population is actually experiencing now. So in a way, and I feel selfish for thinking this, but I felt like being given a break. I wasn't missing out on everything that I'm normally missing out on. Everybody else is now in my position. They have to experience that. And without sounding horrible, I got a sense of comfort from that. I didn't feel so isolated, even though the whole world was being isolated for the first time. And as selfish as that sounds, that really helped me cope. I wasn't jealous of everybody else anymore. They weren't going out and living their life and being able to enjoy things without being scared. They were actually experiencing what I experienced, rightly or wrongly. First lockdown was definitely a lot easier for me for the fact that there was the sun was shining, you could spend time outside. And now this one is a lot harder. Like, I didn't have cafeteria in first lockdown, so most of my day I did spend just sleeping, wasting as much time as I could possibly by sleeping. Whereas now I do find this lockdown a lot harder due to the fact that my energy levels are so much better. I'm actually able to think about doing all these exciting things. And I did have a taster of that for about 3 weeks in between the shielding stages, and obviously lockdowns were eased. So I found it really exciting to be able to experience that for the first time. And then I found it very difficult being taken away from me. What I found was that the days seemed to be getting longer for me. So I felt like I wasn't actually getting anything done. So I started doing to-do lists, and I've always been a really big lists kind of gal. But I started doing the to-do lists and literally writing anything I could down. So I'd have a shower, write that down. I'd have breakfast, write that down. I'd get dressed and write that down. I'd do my physio, I'd write that down. And anything I did throughout the day that I hadn't written down already, I would write down, give it a big tick, and I get such satisfaction. And at the end of the day, even though I feel like I haven't done anything, I would look back and think, I have done so much. I told my boyfriend we were gonna make a list. We're gonna have 5 goals each, and mine weren't, they weren't anything special, but it was things like create a moisturising habit. I'd start a YouTube channel, which I do have, and I love that. I find it so helpful being able to share how I feel about experiences like this, because I'm so rubbish at talking about my feelings face to face with people. Even if you do nothing, you've still woken up and you've still got through that day. Like, that is a big thing. It's a difficult time, it's an unknown time, and that is so scary. But I want to finish today with just saying that some of the things I've found so much more helpful is making sure every day I get up and I try and have a shower, get dressed, make myself feel motivated, and drink so much water. It refreshes me, and just try and have as much fun as you can from home. But most of all, I hope you're all okay, and my messages are always open.